putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. Donna Brazile has refused witness protection. Oh, man. She doesn't know what to do these days. And I sort of feel sorry for her. And I'll tell you why. She is a woman who has dedicated herself to the Democratic Party. She reminds me of the former Barbara Jordan, just not nearly as smart as Barbara Jordan. But then how smart can anybody who's a Democrat be? The only thing I will say that Barbara Jordan, well, I can't even give her credit for that because the party that was oppressing her was the party that she was for even in the 60s. Now, Donna Brazile has had plenty of time to look at what's been going on. And again, I don't understand why people can vote Democrat. I just don't, especially black folks. But they do, and they do it in droves. But Donna Brazile does remind me in many ways of Barbara Jordan. Their presence, if you will, even though Jordan had a much more commanding presence. I remember my grandparents, if Barbara Jordan came on TV, it was be quiet, shut the heck up. But Donna Brazile, I tell you, if you heard her comment, she said something like, y'all can all go to HE double cricket socks if you're expecting this or that. And she's changed so many times now, right? She's kind of gone back and forth on what her thoughts are around this thing. I mean, first of all, she comes out and she makes a statement about her book and says, Hillary Clinton ripped off Bernie Sanders, and she's right. She caught heat. Everybody got mad at her. So then she blames Trump. She pulled a Weinstein. Donald Trump did it, and then I'm going to go after the NRA. And then that didn't work. I believe, quite honestly, she was threatened. Then she came back, and maybe I can only believe somebody propped her up and said, look, Donna, you've gone down this path. There is no backing out. You got to go for it. I know it's a tough road to hoe. The left are not used to going on their own. They're not used to not having all the accolades come their way. They are not used to contrarian views. Donna has always toed the line, and now she wants to tell the truth, and they're mad at her. So she fired back, and the only thing I can think is some very rich person said to her, you keep fighting the fight, I got your back. So she's still fighting the fight. But there's no putting the genie back in the bottle of her revealing the crooked nature of the Democratic Party and DNC, and specifically the Clinton campaign. And when President Trump seized on these revelations, because they validated what he said all along about the Democratic machine, that's when things started going awry for Donna Brazile. Now, she had to know this was going to happen, right? This didn't sneak up on her. It's a book that's been out there. She let a couple of people read it, and they probably said, ooh, girl, you're gonna catch a little heat for this. But you'll sell a lot of books. But you don't get rich in the book business. I mean, unless you are Stephen King or what's the chick that wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. It's not easy to not at their level. If Donna wants to make a couple $1 million off her book, I don't know. What do you think her advance would be? I mean, you may not know. I'd be curious. We should probably Google it because I bet they know. But if it's a couple $1 million for her advance, I'd be shocked if it was more than that. But if it was a couple $1 million for her advance, then good for her. But that's not enough for D.C. people to live on. If Donna lowered her standard of living, she might. But you better know some high-level phone calls came after Donna's revelation in this book. And I wouldn't be surprised if Barack Obama called her. And they told her, look, you got to back off of this. You got to know, Donna, people have been killed for less. So when Donald Trump used her own words, they looked at that. I'm talking about the powers that be in the Democratic Party and said, you've allowed Donald Trump to use you. Now, what's funny about it is the left tells you who they are, right? They were telling Donna, you've allowed us to use you, but it's backfired. So now we are forced to throw you under the bus unless you do something. So then Brazile comes out and says, that was doggone Donald Trump misusing my words. And, people are going, Donna, they're still there. It's the same words. You can't retract what you've written in a book. Leftists saw through this ruse. As I said, it was very Weinstein-esque for Donna to come back the next day and say, no, I didn't say that. And Donald Trump, he took my words out of context, and I'm going after Donald Trump. Good luck with that strategy. You know how many bodies lay in the wake of those who say, I'm going to get me Donald Trump? And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I've worked with business people who are as smart, if not smarter than Trump. He doesn't have some Svengali-like spell over me. I'm just giving you the truth. Lesser people, or I should say, people that think that they can get over with Donald Trump because they feel that he's not intelligent or whatever. The freeway is lined with roadkill that looks like that. Brazile got caught red-handed, telling people, that the truth, and then backtracking, and it didn't work out. And when I think about what's going on with Donna Brazile, I remember that scene in Roots. It's iconic because Kunta Kinte is being harassed by one of the white masters, and they tell him, they're going to give him a whipping. So they string him up and they start whipping him. Kunta Kinte is played by LeVar Burton. Whip him. What's your name, boy? What's your name? Kunta Kinte. And then he gets whipped almost to death, and it finally cracked the whip. And next thing he says is, what's your name, boy? He's telling him your name is Toby. And then he finally says, Toby. And he goes, say it louder so everybody can hear you. My name is Toby. So he had broken him. That's essentially what happened here. Chuck Schumer was asked point blank, what do you think about Donna Brazile? And Chuck Schumer declined to answer. You know why he did it? Because he knows Brazile is telling the truth. But he can't not protect that white woman elitist. I'm just telling you, the Democrats need to recognize, you need to send this clip to every one of your Democratic friends, every one of your black Democrat friends particularly, and say, listen to what Kevin Jackson's telling you. They had an opportunity to fess up, to clean up their party. A black woman who loves the party, we're not talking a right-wing conspiracy, points out the inconsistencies. She says, number one, Hillary Clinton cheated. She was in collusion. And why was she in collusion? Because the black dude that we had before, he left us broke. And oh, by the way, the guy who whistleblowed on what was going on inside of a lot of this operation is dead. And Donna Brazile's like, what more am I going to find if I keep looking? So she's revealed what's happening inside of the DNC in her book called Hacked. And people are mad, and now she's got it. She's an escaped slave, or, she's a slave, and they're going to put her on a whipping post, and she's going to keep on getting whipped until she finally says, my name is Toby. That's the way I view this. Because, you got to think about her, when she backtracked. Well, she told her story. Trump took her story and made something out of it. She then jumps on Trump. Then, because of other people telling her to do it, then she caught so much flack for that, probably from black folks, going, man, that's cold what you did, Donna. You backtracking and all this, man. Whatever. I don't know what happened. And then so she comes back again, fired up. This time it appears to be at the left. But I want to go back to this Seth Rich thing. She says this, she describes her mounting anxiety about Russia's theft of emails and other data from DNC servers, a slow process of discovering the full extent of the cyber attacks and the personal fallout. She likens the feeling to have rats in your basement. You take measures to get rid of them, but knowing they're there or have been there means you never feel truly at peace. She says that she's haunted by the still unsolved murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich and feared for her own life. shedding the blinds to her office and windows so snipers could not see her. This woman's scared of her own party. She says she wonders whether Russians had placed a listening device in plants in the DNC executive suite. No, they didn't have to. They had Hillary Clinton. Anyway, she told the critics to go to HE double crooked socks because I think she's feeling the pressure.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.